Learning Simplified. Today in this tutorial, we are going to understand different CSS selectors and their properties. Definitely, we'll be going through a definite classification of them, but right now, first of all, let's get acquainted with different parts of it, different parts of CSS selectors. Those are being used widely in CSS. Get back to stylesheet.css again. What have we provided over here? We have defined that the paragraph element whose parent class is .paragraphTester, it will be providing this particular properties. But if we get back to index.html, we will see here that this paragraph element, it is practically present within a span element. That means the parent to this paragraph element is this span element. It may be residing into this paragraph tester div, but overall the parent element of this paragraph is this particular span. So that is why it is executing a different property here. It is executing the default property as set to paragraph elements of a particular HTML page. So this is practically another kind of CSS styling. Now we are defining here that any kind of element inside a particular parent element will be executing this kind of behaviors, as we can see over here. But if we now remove this symbol from here and if we get back to our project, we can see that there's absolutely no problem with it. It is now adopted to the same intrinsic properties. Those are being provided to it. But if we provide this one, now whenever we are using this particular thing over here, this particular syntax over here, it classifies that the paragraph element inside a definite parent element, it will be executing these particular properties. But if this condition is violated, as we can see that in this particular case, this condition is violated, it is now residing inside this parent element of span. So that is why it will be now executing a very different property, the default property of paragraph element. Those we can see inside an HTML document. So this is another kind of declaration of CSS. What we are doing, we are now providing this particular syntax here and we are saving this particular document. Now if we get back to our project, we will see that all those properties, those were seen priorly here, those are gone. These paragraph elements, those are not following any kind of background color or any kind of padding properties. Those we had seen in our earlier cases. But if we now scroll down, in the very first case, we can see that the immediately following paragraph element, it is now executing the same property that we had seen in our previous case. In all those paragraph elements, those were present inside this particular paragraph test holder. So this is another kind of syntax where we are practically selecting the immediate paragraph element which is following this particular class name over here, this paragraph tester. Now here comes another confusion. If instead of this we use this particular syntax over here, get back to your project and you will see that the same thing is going on over here. The immediate following paragraph element residing outside the block element which is using the class, which was the class paragraph tester. So which is using this class paragraph tester, it is now practically executing all those properties, those we have seen in our previous cases. Now here comes the confusion that may lead you to the concept that both of these syntaxes are practically ideally same, isn't it? But now observe, if we use this syntax here and if we get back to our project, and we can see that each and every following elements, those are practically following this particular div here. It is now executing this yellow background and this padding property as set here. This is the yellow background and this is the padding property that we can see over here. But now if we remove this one with this plus sign, and if we now save the document, getting back to our project, we can see that only the immediately following paragraph element is executing that sole property that we have seen in our previous cases. So this is the basic difference between this particular syntaxes. If you use this particular plus sign over here, and if you use all those background properties and padding properties, those will be executed to the immediately following paragraph element, which is following this particular class here, paragraph tester. But if you want to select all those particular paragraph elements, those are following this paragraph tester here, then all you need to do, you need to replace it with this one, with this condition. Now get back to your project and you will see that all those paragraph elements are right now following the exact same properties. This yellow color, the padding property, those are practically executing the same behavior as we have seen in our previous cases.